यार पेपर कितना लेंदी था ना, पूरा लिख ही नहीं पाई। यार सब तो सही लिखा था, मार्क्स क्यों नहीं आए?
If you're related to any of those situations, don't worry, I'm here to help you guys out. Hey guys, Drashti here. Okay, let's get started without wasting any more time. Tip number one, just read the question papers the first 5 minutes. So many a times the way these question papers are formatted is that you'll have the 5 mark answer actually being the sub answer of the 10 mark one. So if you end up attempting that and then you move on to the 10 mark answer, it would be much more easier for you. It's important to understand what is going to be for like 5 marks and what is going to be for 10 marks. This brings us to tip number 2. Understand what has to be for 5 marks and what has to be for 10 marks. When we're talking about any like characteristics, so if they're asking you to list it down for 5 marks, list down and write like 1 or 2 lines explaining that characteristic, right? But if it is for 10 marks, it would be better if you give an example and explain that example. You can have the example for 5 marks as well, just you can write example Amazon and end it, but you can explain why Amazon is the example of, say, like customer service or e-commerce. That was tip number 2. Understand what has to be for 5 marks and what has to be for 10 marks. Let's move on to third tip. I have heard this a lot of times, but for all the wrong reasons, and do not do this. Do not leave unnecessary lines or spaces between or in your answer. Okay, so what I mean by that is, don't have 5 centimeter line before and after the margin. Don't do that. Don't leave unnecessary spaces. You are wasting the precious time that you get before getting your question paper. You can have all of the tables or the constant values, whatever. I think we have some in function point value and stuff. So वो लिखो, ठीक है, लाइन मारने में टाइम वेस्ट मत करो. That is just going to be very irritating for the examiner. I, as someone who's been checking paper since like a long time, even though I don't check like university level papers, I've checked like papers, okay? And whenever I see that, I just smile, because that is one of the ways to get away from writing stuff. Because you've wasted some amount of space, it's going to appear like you've written a lot, and examiners know exactly what you were thinking, right? So don't do that. What you can do is, tip number 4, highlight the keywords. So as you are writing, just keep on highlighting the keywords, the characteristics and stuff, what you think is relevant in that sentence. I think this is like 10th standard, 12th standard tip. Every subject teacher has given this tip, but pen, pencil, engineering, no one cares about pencil anymore except for like diagrams. We'll come on to that in later part, but highlight the keywords. That was tip number 4. Tip number 5, न्यूमेरिकल्स. अगर न्यूमेरिकल्स है, न्यूमेरिकल्स ही सॉल्व करो. Do not go on trying to write like 5 4 page long answers. Numerical solve karo. There's a definite answer to a numerical. Make diagrams, have like figures, try to explain, use just make visualize things that even in projects and in your answer paper looks really really good. And trust me when I say this, I've had 9 plus pointers till now.
Yeah, flex, but okay.
You need to have diagrams in your answers. If it is a long answer, like a 10 mark answer or 15 mark answer, this would be really helpful for you. Diagram बना लिया, diagram को explain कर दिया, just completes. Yeah, thank God it was recording. So just completes the entire answer. You have a brief introduction, then you have a diagram, you're explaining the diagram, the characteristics, the advantages, disadvantages, completes the entire answer. So diagrams and numericals. That was tip number, I think 4, 5, not sure. But that was tip number 5. The bonus tip, as a senior or someone who is also a student, एग्जाम के दिन कुछ भी नया पढ़ने मत जाना. Do not try to learn anything on the day of your exams. Just revise the formulas, the diagram, the labeling of the diagram. Make sure that you are carrying a pencil. For diagrams, you ideally should have a pencil and an eraser and a sharpener and a scale. But yes, do not try to learn anything new on the day of exam. एग्जाम हॉल के बाहर खड़े रह के भी कुछ नया मत सीखना, even though I've done that, but try to avoid that because that is a lot of stress. And if you are someone who would easily like forget everything else क्योंकि ये नया करने का stress हो गया था, please don't do that. Okay, these are the tips that I over the years have gathered and I have been practicing them as well. I hope you like this video. I will be having a few more exam related videos coming up, so be sure to subscribe. Bye bye.